This is Victor Jones of Indie Artists United, and I am excited today to interview Mr. Johnny Walsh. I am so excited for our network. I'm so excited that he has joined us and he's willing to take part and be a part of our community. Johnny, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Victor?
I'm doing well, doing well. We've had a lot of conversations before this interview, and I'm just so excited to have you here. You appear to be a very genuine fellow. You love music, and I love it. And so we're going to start with a couple of questions. First, Johnny, tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're calling from right now, and where you're from, and how that exists.
Yeah, so originally I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota. I lived there most of my life, and then I came out east for college.
Okay.
I went to Christendom College in Front Royal, Virginia, and then I went back home for a couple of years. And when I graduated in 2018, but now I've made my way back. So now I'm out in Virginia. I'm in the McLean area of Virginia.
Okay. Sounds good. Calling out of McLean. All right, and I'm calling out of Maryland, and Frederick, Maryland. And so we're gonna move into the interview. You okay with that, Johnny?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, great. All right, so I want to start with the first question. The first question is, when did you start your musical journey?
Right from the get-go, honestly. I think I had an interior gift, and I was born into a family that was always playing music in the car and at home, and like all kinds of genres: country, Frank Sinatra, Christian music, rock music, everything. Okay. Great eclectic mix, great, parents that like, they already kind of had that in mind, but when they saw that I had a gift, they kept fostering it. And when I was like 5 or 6, I started taking piano lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I was the worst practicer ever. I was like, totally like, I had this creative vision, and, I didn't like people telling me, don't play it like that, or, this is the way it's written. I was super stubborn. But nevertheless, yeah, right. Like musicians are so crazy.
No, but that's good though, man, because a lot of times, that stubbornness or that mentality leads you to a style of your own.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's what happened, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, it was good that they did that anyway, because I mean, as stubborn as I was, I definitely learned a lot, and I continued to play piano up until this day. And I think what really helped my music ability was I learned other instruments, and I was pretty much always in choir too.
Okay.
And so when you learn, I learned guitar when I was like 10 or 11.
Okay.
And that's around the time my dad started buying me some recording gear. And I didn't know anything about, programming or mixing or mastering, but I just had a blast just doing stuff. I was listening to a lot of alternative and a lot of Christian music at the time. So like, Reliant K, Switchfoot, Toby Mac, Newsboys, right around like, 2006 probably. That was like my jam, and so I was trying to do everything they were doing, whether it was rock or acoustic or hip hop or whatever. And I look back, it's like when you're 10 years old, it's like the most beautiful stage because you have no awareness of yourself, and so therefore you're free to create.
You're shaping yourself into this thing that you are today. Just amazing, man. So you're telling me that you started music at 5 years old, or probably earlier, based upon the experience of your family, man. That's amazing, man. I find that to be very amazing and amusing, and it actually shows in your abilities. It shows in your recordings that I've actually heard. It shows your skill and how long you've actually been playing. So, man, we appreciate you being with us today. And so we've actually answered a couple of questions. So we're moving down the list now.
Okay.
So the question I want to ask is, for one, I want to congratulate you on being number 2 on the instrumental charts for the new genres playlist. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about that, the new genres playlist, where IAU is actually breaking into different genres playlists. We have one playlist, but we're going to break those playlists up into different genres, where actually we can approach different audiences. And also we're expanding as well. We're at about 76 people now, actually 77 with the new member that just joined. and we're moving to 100. And so when we move to 100, we're going to break off into these different genres playlists. And so at this point, we've had ballots to come in, and we're having people vote for the songs that should be number 1, number 2, and number 3 on the playlist. And brings us to our point. Mr. Johnny Walsh actually has a song called Sounds of the Studio, if I said that correctly. And it's actually number 2 on the instrumental genres playlist.
Hey, thanks. Thank you. I mean,
congratulations, man.
It's like crazy to me because I just, got in touch with you like 4 weeks ago tops. And I was like, oh, cool. He just started this networking thing. I wonder where that'll go. And now you're telling me I'm number 2 on a genre. So
yes, you are. So tell us, and this is what we're going to talk about. Tell us about the Sounds of the Studio. It sounds very interesting. I've heard it. I've listened to it. I've listened to all of your music, and you are, man, you're an awesome musician. And so tell us about Sounds of the Studio.
Yeah. So basically, before I talk about it itself, my favorite thing to do, honestly, is improv when it comes to piano. And so whether that's doing a cover of a song in whatever style I feel like, or whether that's just coming up with something off the cuff. I think that's one thing, like between my ADD and maybe some OCDs. Like I never, whenever I improv, whenever I just sit down, that's when I feel fresh. Like it's like everything is genuine, and it can be flawed. I might miss notes. I might do a weird key change, time signature change, but nothing is planned. And so it's all just very fresh off the cuff. Mm-hmm. When I get caught up in exact arrangements or reading sheet music or that kind of thing, that has its place, and it's super important. But I find that sometimes I don't feel as genuine or as fresh, or I'm more worried about hitting the right notes at the right time.
I understand.
Than just letting it.
Right, just spontaneous.
So that's my favorite thing, is like being in public and like, oh, there's a little kid. I'll play a TV show song, or like a Snoopy shirt, and I'm like, I'll play that, and then you just see the light up, or this kid's wearing a Red Hot Chili Pepper, or whatever it is. Just that spontaneity, and honestly, a lot of I like covering music, but one thing that gets me is like so much music is repetitive. Where I'm like, all right, after one or two verses, I don't want to do the full 7 minutes or whatever it is, because I got to mix on. Anyway, that's the backdrop. So the story is my first official album. I would make like mixtapes for my family growing up, but it's my first real project. I'm super excited. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I actually had like a minor work injury the day before, and I didn't even know it was that bad, but like my left shoulder and back were a little quirky, and I was like totally unprepared for this thing. But I show up and I'm like, all right, I want to do this thing. And like the studio itself was just crazy. It was this it was actually a mansion on a famous street in St. Paul called Summit Avenue. And like, that street, that's where the cathedral is, that's where the James J. Hill House is. It's a whole lot of history. That's where my folks actually would like walk up and down that street when they were dating. So a lot of personal history for me, but I knew this guy from church. His name is Stephen Anderson. And he's a pianist, so he's got a whole bunch of stuff. Definitely recommend checking his stuff out as well. But I get there, and like, he doesn't even own the place. He's just like, he knew a guy who had this huge mansion. I walk in, he's got a Bosendorfer, which is a huge German grand piano. It's got some extra low keys on the low end. And, if you know anything about strings or physics, the long notes or the low notes have the longest string, right? And so this thing would like fill an average room. I mean, it wasn't just like a big grand. This thing was huge. It was a tank. And I walk in, and it's like this charming dining room, and there's like a whole bougie, like booze table right there. And I'm just oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But, I'm sure you have the experience in the most low key setting. When you hit that recording button, you're like, it's different than even
everything's changes, man.
Everything changes. The stakes are high. And so I was like, you know, I said hi to Steve. He was great. And he's like, "You want water or coffee?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And I was like, "Why don't we just do, before we do any of the songs I'd planned, because I had a list of like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's 10 because one of them was a medley. But anyway, I had a list. But I was like, before we do that, I just want to do what I do, which is sit down and play.
Okay.
So this is it. This is the Sounds of the Studio story.
Okay. So, I've been waiting for a while now.
Okay, I'll build it up. Here it is. I probably built it way too much last week. So
no, it's cool. It's cool.
I sit down, and literally that's what it was. I mean, the title came from that because
oh wow.
I was like, why don't we just try this out? And normally for all the other songs we would do several takes, and you know, he would copy and paste or, you know, mix and match the best parts. But that one I just sat down and I just played what was on my heart, and that's what came out. And
wow.
like you can
Sounds
hear every 45 seconds to like minute and a half, there's like a new vibe, a new theme. It's like minor, it's major, it's triplet, or it's even beat or whatever. And like I didn't plan that, I didn't pre-compose that, I just sat down and played it.
That was more of you. That was more of you releasing the steam, releasing the nervousness, releasing all of that, and getting to the place where you could actually play with, you know, comfort. And so that's amazing, because to me, I think when someone would hear that, I think if I'm having a stressful day, if I'm going through something, you know, it starts with the stress, and then as it actually plays out, it actually gives you a relaxation. So it takes you through your whole day and then ends you with some relaxation, man. That's amazing, man. Yeah,
well,
that's amazing.
You for those words, man.
Well, I mean, just listening to what you're saying, you know, and listening to how it started, you know, emotionally, the way you set it up, you get what I'm saying? Then that will put you in a place, you know what I'm saying, to put someone in that type of mode. So, so yeah, man, amazing. So we got 2 more questions. So what do you want people? And then, I mean, this is a really short answer. What do you want people to get out of it, or what would you like people to get out of it? Because we have a lot of people on the app at this point talking about your song. So what do you want people to get out of it when they hear the sounds of the studio?
Oh, wow, that question caught me off guard. I mean, I if anything, I hope it brightens their day or relaxes them, or you know, whatever. But I mean, honestly, I'm very, as much as I like making good art and good recordings, I'm a very personal guy. So like, if you wanna, you know, connect or reach out, or if you're like, hey, I like that, like, you know, could you make something else like this, or you have an idea, or you're like, you know, I wanna meet you, or like I love playing for people. So like I've played birthday parties or stuff like that. I mean, it's not even like my own promotion, but it's like I would much rather have a real human connection,
human experience. I got you.
Than just being like, oh, I got another play, or I got you. That's what I'm saying. So,
and see, that's what Indie Artists United is also about creating that type of connection. And that's why I'm trying to actually encourage a lot of the artists at this point to interact with the fans. You know, we have about 30 something fans on the app. You get what I'm saying? Interact with them. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are waiting for you to say something, and they actually love the music. And so the thing is, you know, they love your song. They love what you're doing. People are posting about your song. And so definitely, man, it's definitely going to create some leverage there for you to be able to perform. And my wishes is that you be able to perform where people are in Africa, people are in Palestine, people are in Pakistan, people that are in Mexico City. So the thing is, those are the opportunities for you. You know, those are the opportunities for you dealing with and networking on Indie Artists United. And so we appreciate you being there, man. And the song is just superb. It's awesome. And I've listened to it several times. And so we're going to move to the next question.
All right.
This is going to be our last question. And we'll probably ask you, where can we find your single at, which you can find on the playlist, but we still want to talk about where it is on Spotify, the name of it, and all that good stuff.
Sure.
And so this is our last question here. And so we've had a long conversation today, and you kind of got a chance to see where your streams are. What is your take? What would you tell someone about Indie Artists United? What is your take on
it? So I would have like 2 takes. There's like the professional take, which is honestly true, and it's what I'm going to end with. But I would say at first, like, I was caught off guard. I was like, okay, who is this Victor Jones guy? What is he up to? And like, is this just some like hack? Like, yo, we can like stream our stuff and make money and like, hopefully no one catches us. I actually heard about a band that, and this is not at all, disclaimer, this is not what he's doing, but I heard a band that made like a album with like a bunch of silent 30-second tracks. And they made like a killing doing that. And like,
right.
Anyway, you're not doing that. That's not Victor. He's the real deal. He's not sketch. But yeah. Anyway, at first I wasn't totally sketched out, but I was definitely caught. I was like, what? What is this? But that's why before this interview, you know, we've had several conversations, and I was like, I really wanted to just, you know, cut through all the tape and just be like, all right, what is this? And I've had nothing but good experiences, and whether it's, you know, connecting. I mean, I'm like, I told him, I was like, why hasn't anyone else done this? I mean, someone probably has somewhere, but like, I've never heard of this.
At this point, nobody has this idea. This point, that's why I trademarked it. That's why I did the LLC. I did all of that because at this point, this is a fresh idea. I think it came from heaven.
Honestly, I mean, networking not only the artists but the fans, and like just so many. I mean, from the big playlist to the genres to, I mean, I haven't even checked out everything that's up on the app yet, but
it's a lot.
The little that I've seen is huge. So that's awesome, man. God bless.
But we work with the thing about Indie Artists United. We actually work together as a unit, and we have a team of administrators. We actually come together twice a month, and we discuss strategies and different things we can do to make Indie Artists United more beneficial to the artists, and not just to the artists, but also to the fan. And also to the world. We wanted the Artists United to impact the world, and not just the world, but the world of musicians that have been ignored, that have been, you know, in a place where, you know, you're stuck in your own city and no one knows you outside of your city. And so we want Indie Artists United to open that platform to you where you can reach the world. And Johnny Walsh, I think it's time for you to reach the world, brother. And so lastly, man, so lastly, I want you to tell the fans where they can find you on social media, and also where just the name of your social media page and the name of your track again, and what platforms they can find it on.
Absolutely. So I have a Facebook page that's Johnny Walsh Music.
Okay.
That's really simple. And then I have a YouTube as well. It's just Johnny Walsh. There's a couple different Johnny Walshes, but if you type in Johnny Walsh Piano or Johnny Walsh Sounds of the Studio, it'll come right up. One thing I would stress is you can find you can stream Sounds of the Studio on any platform, whether it's you know, iTunes, Deezer, Apple, Google, Amazon. Like, it's literally, you know, I used CD Baby, so it's on everything. It's on TikTok. If you want to dance to some melancholic piano music, you might get. But in all seriousness, you can find the album, and I also did a Christmas single. You can find that anywhere.
Oh wow!
But the one thing about the YouTube page that is fun is there is exclusive content, including being at that studio I was in. And just like me, you know, dorking around like in a piano store or whatever, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that's something. Personal, but see, that's the thing. I want you to start posting that on the app. That's important. Yeah. That's important that your fans get to know. You get to know what you're doing. What does Johnny Walsh look like? That's what we need to know. We need to see that. Absolutely. So definitely, man. So listen, man, we're gonna end this interview. Thank you so much for being with us, Johnny, man. It's been
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I think we've been spending about 2 hours together now. We're gonna have to hang out.
Get on with your Saturday.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But we're gonna have to hang out, man, and get a couple of musicians as well. That's some other things I'm thinking about coming up with Indie Artists United, creating a recording band and a performance band as well. So,
absolutely. That's one thing I forgot was like when you asked like, what do you want, you know, people listening or fans to get out of it? I'm like, if you like it, that's great, but let's collab. You know, if you play something or like, I don't just want to be like, this is my solo track. I want to collab. So,
well, we got some people that want to do that already, and that's what I'll share with you later. So, Indie Artists, this is Victor Jones, and this is Johnny Walsh. Sounds of the Studio, guys. Please check that out. And I'm sure you all already have, because he has a lot of votes right now. And so, guys, continue to listen, man. And he's coming out with some more stuff too. And he'll give us some updates on that with another interview. Guys, this is Victor Jones, Johnny Walsh, IAU, Indie Artists United. One love.
Take care.